Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I hope that you have had a wonderful week. For those of you who tune in every single Tuesday, why did I almost say Wednesday, y'all? I'm on the wrong day of the week. Every single Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Welcome back. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who are brand new to mental health moment, welcome, welcome. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. We are here live. We're here live every Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. And for those of you who are watching the replay on Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, be sure to like this video, share, and subscribe to the page. So welcome, welcome. Let me know where you are tuning in from in the chat. Again, it's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. I reside in the Tampa Bay area of Florida. For some of you who follow me on Instagram and follow my stories, you will know that last week I was in the snow, which I do not love. It's always comical for me. I always say, yeah, it just Snowy and I are not the best of friends. So, nonetheless, that was quite an interesting experience being in I would say probably the most amount of snow I want to say that I've ever seen in my life. There was just so much. I was way up in Maine and New Hampshire on a work project, and it was so much. I mean, I'm from Florida. I live in Florida, so we don't see a whole bunch of snow here at all, actually. So that was an interesting experience. But let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat. Welcome back from Boston's in the house. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. For those of you who are new to mental health moment is all about how do you work on becoming the best version of who you are so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So each week we go through just some different tips to try. It was interesting. I think it was last week or the week before. One of you asked different questions about anxiety and things like that. And what's so interesting about the world of mental health, as I was explaining before, is that all of us, well, we all have mental health. There's a huge spectrum when it comes to the things that we experience, right? Whether it be our emotions, whether we have a mental health condition, whether we have a little bit of normal anxiety or sadness or whatever it is, everything is really on a spectrum. So there's just some things that are normal that happen to all of us, and then some things that are more concerning. So on mental health moment, again, I go through, for those of you who are new, I go through different tips each week. Some of the tips may be things that you can implement, and that's all you need, and it's great, and it gets you on the right track. And sometimes it's not enough, and there's times when you really need to seek out the help of a mental health professional, which is all good if you need to take that step. So again, it's Dr. Nikisha Hammond here. Welcome, welcome. Let me know where you're tuning in from in the chat, and hopefully I'll be able to see your comments. Technology has been really good to me the last couple of mental health moments, and I've had an opportunity to see your chat, which I like seeing your chat. So hopefully it'll start to come in here. There's a couple trickling in, but I know there's a lot more of you, so hopefully I'll be able to see that here soon. So before I get started, I'll do my quick announcements and then share some things for you to think about this week. A mental health moment. But a couple things. So drnikishahammond.com is where you can reach me, or at Dr. Nikisha Hammond on pretty much all social media platforms. On the website, drnikishahammond.com/events is where myself and my team will be keeping that updated this year on any new updates, any new events. There are definitely a couple of events coming up. As I mentioned, sometimes I do speak to different organizations and corporations, which are private events, but there's also events that will be open to the public this year, some in person and some virtual. So just keep checking back. Everything will be on drnikishahammond.com/events. Welcome for Virginia. Welcome back. And thanks so much for joining here. Let me see. My other announcement really quickly, because someone had asked, I think it was 2 mental health moments ago. Someone had asked about, and I'm going to try to put it in this chat here, even though I know for some reason I'll read what it is too. For some reason, it doesn't go through to all the platforms. I don't know why. But anyhow, someone had asked about the different some of the different accounts that I follow on Instagram because we were talking about being aware of the things you're following. There's just times in society when things are heavy, whether it's your personal life, whether it's someone, your friend or family's things going on, or in the news, or wherever, externally or internally, it can be a lot going on. So it's really important that you be aware of what you are intaking, which also includes social media. So I'm going to put some in the chat here and answer your whomever asked this a while back. Oops, self care, and I'm going to read it out just in case some of you don't get to see it. But these are just a couple of Instagram accounts that I personally follow, and I follow for a long time. I don't know most of these accounts personally, but they have been wonderful just with inspirational messages, things that are uplifting, things to be thinking about because that's really, really important for your mental health. So one of them is called Self Care with Wall. It's all one phrase, like at Self Care with Wall. The second one is some of them you may have heard of already. The second one is We the Urban, and for some reason, it looks like my chat or my comment is going through to YouTube and Facebook, but for some reason not LinkedIn. So I apologize for those of you tuning in on LinkedIn, but I'll read it out for you as well. The other one is Thrive. So at Thrive. Two more. Oops, that will go through. I think that went through. Yeah. The other one is Tank's Good News. And okay, that went through. And then the last one is Power of Positivity. And I'll read these all again. I think that went through. Okay, I think that's probably right. Okay, so a couple of them again, just some examples because one of you had asked a while back about some positive things to follow. So it's one is at Self Care with Wall. Another one, and these are all on Instagram. They may have other accounts, other places, but I spend most of my time on Instagram and LinkedIn. The other one is at We the Urban. Another one is at Thrive. Another one is at Tank's Good News, like T as in Tom, A-N-K, Tank or Tanks, sorry, T as in Tom, A-N-K-S as in Sam, Tank's Good News, all one phrase. And then the last one is at Power of Positivity. And again, sorry for some reason for my LinkedIn folks, I don't know why this platform does not let me type a message to you all, but I see it went through for YouTube and Facebook. Okay, so those are just some examples. Again, there's a gazillion things out there positive for you to follow, but just some examples if you need more of that in your life. All right, so hopefully I will be able to see this chat soon. I see that literally I can only see a couple of comments, which means who knows. Sometimes I get the comments in a lot later. But let me know in the chat too. Just before I go through today's mental health moment, like what are you grateful for today? Right. I just want to just kind of ground everything because again, like I said, the last couple of months or so, I feel like I've just been really heavy in society. There's a lot of changes, there's a lot of movement going on, and like everything it's just maybe heavy. And like I said, it could be in your personal life or what's going on around you. So let me know in the chat. Hopefully I'll see the chat. But let me know in the chat just one thing that you're grateful for today, right? Like how do you just kind of reframe a little bit and think about your blessings, think about things that you're grateful for. So let me know in the chat. And again, I may or may not be able to see the chat, but maybe for those of you on the platform, you can see each other's answers too. And maybe that'll just inspire you to also remember in the midst of a lot of things that may be going on, there's also a lot of things for you to be grateful for as well. So let me know in the chat. And yep, I cannot see much. But like I said, sometimes it just pops up a lot later. But nonetheless, I may not be able to see it, but you can discuss that among yourself as well. Okay, I wanted to read you something. Oops. Okay, let me go to her because I want to talk about this on today's mental health moment. And this post was from, I guess her name is Nadia Adesi, A, D as in David, D as in David, E, S as in Sam, I. Nadia Adesi. And she posted and she said, I'm going to just read it really quick, just a couple sentences, but I want you to really think about this because I wanted to talk to you all about this on today's mental health moment because it's so true. So she wrote, a lot of people don't know this, but an emotion only lasts about 90 seconds. When a feeling arises, the response in your body is brief. So after that, it's not the emotion that lingers, but the story you attach to it. That's why emotions can feel like they last for hours or days because we keep feeding them with our thoughts, replaying situations, and reinforcing the feeling. The key isn't to suppress your emotions, but to notice when you're the one keeping them alive. So, and she got that from a neuroscientist by the name of Dr. Jill Bolt Taylor. So want to give everybody credit. I'm literally just um, reading today. Yeah, I just literally found that today. I shared it on my story for those of you who are following me, so you can, if you want to connect with her. Excuse me, but I wanted to share that with you all today because it's very true that a lot of times when it comes to your emotions, you may think it's literally it can be a physical response in your body, right? You feel sad, you feel nervous, you feel whatever it is that you're feeling, angry, whatever emotion that you're feeling, and it's not necessarily the emotion that keeps coming up, but well, it could be the emotion that keeps coming up, but it's the story also that you're telling yourself about that particular event, right? So, and thanks for those who are still starting to join here. It's Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. So I wanted to remind you of that because a lot of times we forget that we are constantly telling ourselves a story. So your mindset, I wrote a book on this, y'all. Your mindset and your perspective on things is really critically important. Um, Now it's not to say that there are some things that are really tough to deal with, like major traumatic events. Um, Maybe your brain is just wired a little bit different, and the post talks about this too. Maybe your brain is wired a bit different due to some neurodiversity issues or whatever the case may be. So there are exceptions to this rule, if you will. But typically, the way you are responding to what is going on around you, the things that you're telling yourself, is how you can work through dealing with different strong emotions, if that makes sense. Um, I enjoy oh, okay. Trying to read some comments here. So something to keep in mind, I know that is very easier said than done, so I do wanna say that too. I recognize that, but it is important, like, awareness is such a huge thing when it comes to your mindset of being aware, like, what is it that you're really telling yourself about a particular situation? What is it that you're telling yourself about the situation? What is it that you're saying about to yourself about yourself? Meaning, are you saying are you having the negative self-talk like I'm not good enough or I'm not this enough, I'm not young enough, I'm not old enough, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, right? We tend to do that based on certain situations, which triggers more emotion, more of the same emotion. So again, if it's anxiety, if it's sadness, if it's anger or whatever emotion it is, sometimes we are the cause of our own internal battles where we're just continue to have that same effect. And then we're like, why is this keep happening? But it's because of our thought process. And hi from Georgia. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining here. So, so I really wanted to share that with you again because it is really powerful to understand that. And that is step one, though, when it comes to emotions, is our own awareness. The next step after that, of course, is to work on changing your thought patterns, which is not an overnight thing with by any means. Hi from the Bahamas. Welcome. Thanks so much for joining. It is not an overnight process. It's something that does take time. It is something that sometimes you can do on your own, with, whether it's self-help books, whether it's podcasts, whether it's watching and listening to informational or inspirational information. And sometimes, again, depending on where these thoughts sort of came from, if it's like heavy trauma or things in your childhood or your teen years or, something major that happened to you, sometimes it's a little mm, deeper embedded, if you will, those negative thoughts. And sometimes you do need to reach out to a coach or a mental health professional that can really help you kind of get on the other side of that. So again, wherever you're at in this process, I hope that you do not judge yourself. Do not blame yourself for where you're at. All right. Hi from Louisiana. Welcome, welcome. Well, I was just there. When was I there? A couple weeks ago. Actually, it was snowing, which was bizarre. And like it was New Orleans and it was snowy and weird and I could barely get around. I was trying to get to the airport. But and yeah, a lot of things were shut down because it doesn't normally snow there or that hard. But thanks for joining here. Hi from New Jersey. Welcome, welcome. Dr. Hammond here with your mental health moment. If you're just tuning in, we've really been talking about I saw this post that I really liked on, Instagram, so I read that earlier. If you missed the beginning, you can always go back to Dr. Nikisha Hammond YouTube, and we'll have the replays on there of the mental health moments. But I wanted to remind you again that a lot of emotions that we feel, and then we're wondering, like, why are we continuing to have these same emotions over and over and over? And it's because a lot of times it's linked to the things that we're telling ourselves. So for example, let me give you an example, right? Um, you know that your friend, your family member, whomever could have been in a similar situation than you, but they may have a totally different perspective in a positive way or a negative way. And that is simply because it's the stories that they're telling themselves. So just as how you always hear, like, some people are very optimistic or they see the glass half full or they're like, it's okay. Like even in we've talked about that a lot in mental health moment, but even through the dark times, even through the storms, I know I can get through, or I know it doesn't rain forever, or whatever it is that you need to tell yourself. If that's the story, right? It's a very different outcome for you mentally than if you're telling yourself whatever it is that you're going through, like, this is going to last forever. This is so difficult. I don't know if this will ever end, or whatever sorts of things you're telling yourself, right? So hopefully that makes sense. It really, some of this is a choice. And again, I don't want to minimize, because with really severe trauma, let's say, it actually rewires your brain. That's a whole nother mental health moment. But it can really rewire your brain, and it's a lot harder to make sense of those emotions, and there's a lot more triggers and all that sort of thing. So I don't want to minimize any of that. But sometimes some events that happen to us, we can work on the awareness and work on understanding that we are controlling the story that we're telling ourselves, and work on reframing and telling ourselves a different, more positive story. Hi from San Francisco. Welcome back. Someone said, let's see, someone said they're here from Lexington, Massachusetts, and I purchased your book, Mindset Training, about to go in on it. Awesome. Thanks for grabbing the book. And for those of you who are brand new to mental health moment and haven't heard, I have, well, I had a new book out, and then I did the part two to it. So I got a couple books out. But they are about mindset training, and it's all on Amazon. But it's Mindset Training, Conquer Your Mind, and the Rest Will Follow was the first book. And then the part 2 to that is also on Amazon. Amen. Yes, for sure. Um, so so again, and of course, literally the reason why I wrote the book Mindset Training is because there's so much you can do when it comes to your mindset. Like, I know I'm biased as a psychologist saying this, you all, but your mindset is so powerful in your life. No, I'm not saying it makes all your problems go away. No, we can't control everything that happens to us, obviously, in life, but how we decide to look at those things, how we decide to take in the good, because there's good stress too, the bad, and everything in between is a part of what can help to get us through. It is a part of resilience, if you will, and getting us through out of the storm. And it doesn't rain forever, by the way. So, um, but thanks again for those who are still starting to join here. Dr. Hammond with your mental health moment here. So that's what I wanted to share today on today's mental health moment with you. That again, continue to really start to examine. It takes again, we're all at different points in our wellness journey, so it takes a while sometimes to really recognize and have the insight into what is going on in your brain because we tell ourselves all sorts of things. And when you recognize, like, man, I didn't even realize the story I was telling myself about, fill in the blank, whatever situation, when you really start to get to that point, get to that awareness level, that's step one. Then you can really start to make those changes in your thought process. And again, this is not overnight. Sometimes it's not something you can do on your own, and that's okay. It's sort of like, well, it's not the same, but on the physical side, I think of sometimes, let's say you wanted to lose weight, right? And you feel like started doing different things, but you weren't doing the right things and you needed some help, right? So you might have said, okay, I need to go to an exercise class, or I need to walk with a friend, or I need to get a personal trainer, or I need to get someone help me with my diet, or whatever it was. You need other people sometimes to help you in that process. And it's the same thing sometimes when it comes to our mental health. Sometimes there's just some things that we can't do by ourselves, and that's okay. That's why we have friends, or if you don't have friends, you might have family members, or if you don't have supportive family members, there might be support groups in your community of complete strangers who are amazing and supporting you, right? Or a mental health professional, or a coach, or a mentor, or whomever it is that you need. They're definitely, my belief is there's someone out there that can help you in some way, depending on what that way of help you need is. Um, and Someone said, "Do you conduct book discussion groups from your books?" Ooh, that's a great question. Um, I so book discussion groups in the future. I have started. Well, that was actually my other announcement that I didn't make the announcement for, but I need to. I have started. Let me put it here in the chat. Oops, hold on. We're in the beta phase of it, but I'll let you guys know because um I have started, and I know you guys can't see it on LinkedIn, but I'll answer your question. It's called mindsettrainingschool.com. So I have started a school, you all, an online school, and it is similar to the books. Obviously, it's actually, yeah, definitely about the books. And it is for leaders, and it's about resilience and holistic self-care, which is of course what the books are about. So that will be starting. I will be starting my first live masterclass from Mindset Training School next month, in a couple weeks, actually. But you can get more information on that, and I'll talk more about that next week. But since you asked, it's mindsettrainingschool.com. You can get all the info on there. This first group, it's an 8-week program. The first group is a beta group, so it is like 50% off for this round. But let me grab this because I know you were asking questions about the books. But yeah, you can get all the information on there, mindsettrainingschool.com. And like I said, it's literally, this first group is a beta group. So we reduced the price to like 50% off. Um, so I hope that answers your question. Someone said, what is the name of book number 2? Okay, name of book number 2. Let me grab it for you so you can actually see what it looks like. This one is book number 2, and I think I announced that a while back, but I don't know if you can see it here. Mindset Training, Holistic Self-Care to Conquer Your Mind, expanded second edition. I know there's a light that is beaming off of this, so hopefully you can see it. But it's also also on Amazon. Actually, it should be connected to, it's a series essentially now. So there's book 1, book 2, and there's also the journal if you guys are into journaling. Dr. Hammond's Mindset Mastery, a journal for mental strength and inner peace. So again, all on Amazon. But hopefully that answered your question. Someone said they have a support group in their church. Amazing. Awesome. Right? So again, like, there's going back to what I was saying before of just finding, I strongly believe there are people out there to help you in your journey. And again, who that looks like, though, it depends on who you are. You may have, again, supportive friends or not. You may have a great family support group or not. But there are people around you. There's mental health professionals, there's coaches, there's mentors, there's, like someone said, support groups, maybe in your place of worship or whomever it is, right? there just are good people out there to support you in your journey. My strong belief. Um, Sometimes you have to find them, but they're there. Amen, amen. So so hopefully that answers some of your questions here. But again, think about that for this week for, as I wrap up today's mental health moment of how you can really work on being aware, especially if you have strong emotions that are coming up about different things, really being aware that the physical part of an emotion, like I was reading the post at the beginning, literally lasts for like 90 seconds. So when it's like days and weeks and months later that sometimes we still hold on to certain things, generally because there's a story that you're telling yourself about that situation. But I recognize it's not easy, like I said, to just flip the script and be like, I'm just gonna think positive about this horrific, dark cloud or whatever it is. It's not that easy, but it's taking the time to be aware, taking the time to have grace with yourself, taking the time to reduce your amount of self-blame if that's what's going on with you, or having self-forgiveness if that's something you need to do, or forgiving someone else if that's the step you need to take, or thinking about forgiveness. Like there's a lot of mental shifts that need to happen a lot of times through that process. And again, it can be done with yourself, with friend, family member, coach, mentor, mental health professional. We all have different needs when it comes to that. Um, okay, so I think, yeah, I shared all my notes. I was going to share it there, but it's all good. So for those of you who can't see on LinkedIn, because I don't know why my comments don't like to go to LinkedIn for some reason. That website again is mindsettrainingschool.com. If you want to check out my new resilience course masterclass that I'll be starting next month. Actually, it'll be my first live one, so it is in beta mode. And that is coming up, yeah, in like literally a couple of weeks. And I'll remind you all again next week if you're interested. drnikishahammond.com is the website if you need to reach out or connect, or again on social, Dr. Nikisha Hammond on mostly all social platforms. And I can't remember where I'll be next week. Somewhere in the cold again, y'all. You all pray for me. Goodness gracious. For those of you who don't know me, I do not like the snow. I was in a lot of snow last week, and I always put them on my stories because I just find it humorous. Just yeah, I was like brushing off snow on the windshield, which that's not really something I do in Florida. Obviously, I just get in my car and go. So yeah, it's always fun times. But nonetheless, I will see you guys next week. Um Oh, someone said, when is the deadline to sign up? Oh, great question. I believe it is, hold on, let me look here. Um, oh, that's a great question. I think it's March 1st. I believe it's March 1st, because the first week starts March 3rd. That's what I have on my calendar. Yeah. So oh wait, is that what it says? Yeah. Okay. March 1st. Um, and someone said mental shifting. Absolutely. Okay, so I'm gonna wrap up today's mental health moment. But again, thank you all for tuning in. Thank you all for being here for you and learning how to work on becoming a better version of yourself so you can show up powerfully for yourself and for the people around you. So be blessed. Have an amazing week. And I'll see you all next Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here live on Black Women Empowered Incorporated Facebook page, YouTube, and LinkedIn Live. Have a great week, and I'll see you all next week. Bye, guys.